Hiya Papaya, it's your friendly neighborhood Onyxia here with a video about the history of Dungeons and Dragons. If you want to know more about that too, make sure to keep watching, so let's get going, shall we? Dungeons & Dragons, also known as D&D, is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game where you, as a player, get to create your own character who will embark on an adventure made by the Game Master. The Game Master, or Dungeon Master, will be the game's referee and the storyteller. They will explain the settings and the inhabitants of the game world, which the player characters can interact with. However, how did D&D come to be? Was it always seen as just a game? And how is it used in popular culture? You'll see that in this video. Dungeons & Dragons was originally designed by Gary Gygax and Dave Anderson. It was first published in 1974 by Tactical Studies Rules Inc. The game stemmed from miniature war games, the difference being that each player is able to create their own character instead of playing with a military formation. It wasn't until 1997 that Wizards of the Coast became the publisher, which is now a subsidiary of Hasbro. Between the initial release and now, there have been various editions where systems, monsters, and adventures got added. Right now, we are on the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, and there is even a new edition in the works that we might be able to see in 2024. To make it easier to understand, I made a D&D timeline. During the years of D&D existing, it has received both positive but also negative attention. The most common negative attention, which actually also tends to come back every once in a while, is the alleged promotion of Satanism, demon worshipping, and witchcraft, which is mostly coming from various religious groups. Another controversy was the lack of racial diversity in the earlier editions of the game. And when diversity was added, it was accused of using negative racial stereotypes in some of its monsters and races. There have been attempts to fix these issues in the release of the 5th edition supplemental rulebooks. And lastly, D&D has been banned by some prisons and correctional institutions because it could promote gang-related activity. Luckily, like I said before, there was also a lot of positive media attention. As popularity rose, it also meant that it gets referenced in popular culture more frequently, such as in books, comics, movies, television shows, and on the internet, in music, and even podcasts. The reference can go from quick mentions to short scenes and even entire, podcasts and web series that revolve around an entire campaign. Some examples include E.T., Onward, Stranger Things, The Simpsons, but also the songs In the Garage by Weezer and D&D by Stephen Lynch. And lastly, podcast Dungeons and Daddies and the more well-known actual play web series from Dimension 20 and Critical Role. That was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. Also make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. As always, stay awesome, make sure to eat and drink enough, and to get enough sleep. I'll see you next time.